at the city gates in Old Town Historic St. Augustine, and I am here with a centerfold cover model. Talk about the centerfold that you were in with the city gates, Mom.
So this was an ad that was put together and organized as a Chevy Caprice advertisement in 1972 for advertising the Chevrolet in the nation's oldest city. So in 1972, the family that was owner of the Chevy dealership here was going to be the all-American family and be able to be part of this ad. They were looking for a teenage daughter, and I happened to babysit for them occasionally, so I became their teenage daughter for the ad. Chevy ad, I think it was printed and published in Life Magazine, perhaps Newsweek. I think it was 3 of them at least. I know my mom went out and bought all of them and saved all these magazines, but it was a neat ad, and the Chevy car was on the other side of the street, and we stood right here, and you can still see the trees in the ad behind the gates, and so that was pretty cool. So one little piece of history that probably is only known for kids that grew up here, especially in high school, was the leather sandals and leather works by Dan Holliday. Dan Holliday had a leather shop in this vicinity right here that's not there anymore. All the way growing up, if you had something, you had to have a pair of sandals made by Dan Holliday. He made all kinds of leather goods, beautiful work, all handcrafted. You came here and he drew around your foot and traced it, and they built your custom sandals. Fast forward a few years ago, when I came back on a visit, before we were living here more permanently, I went back to Dan Holliday, whose shop was down on Avonlea Street, and he still is making handmade sandals and purses, and he made this for me. And this is like a lasting legacy of a handmade purse made by a craftsman that really don't exist anymore. They would make everything by hand.
Okay, Mom, so tell us, what was St. George Street like when you were growing up in the 60s?
Of all of St. Augustine, this was the street that has become the most different, the one area that has changed the most. However, one spot has not changed, and it's this oldest schoolhouse. And for some crazy reason, when my mom took me there as a kid, it was very scary. So I just really didn't like going to the oldest schoolhouse, and I'm not sure why. It might be that they had the cardboard children in there. But this hasn't changed. It's a cool thing to go see.
What did the street look like when you were growing up?
So this was a real street, like Main Street downtown, like Mayberry. We actually had sidewalks and curbs, and it was where people drove up and down this street.
You could park on this street back then.
But we had all kinds of regular stores, like shoe store, ladies dress shop, kids shop, pharmacy, hardware store. It was typical downtown Main Street.
Now it is like filled with tourist shops and ghost tours. And how many ghost tours were here when you were growing up?
Not any that I remember.
I love when people ask, what are some local ghost stories? And we're like,
I have to go read the book. So growing up in St. Augustine, one of the most neat events that we had historically was the Days of Spring Fiesta, which occurred here on St. George Street. And they actually had swords fighters that leapt from the balconies and had all kinds of reenactments. And this was a really big deal for downtown and for people that came to visit. And people who came to St. Augustine and fell in love with it, a large part might have been when they visited and participated in the Days of Spring Fiesta, which occurred right down here.
Okay, Mom, so let's talk about Nights of Lights. Nights of Lights is the number one thing that brings people to St. Augustine. What was it like in St. Augustine growing up during Nights of Lights? Like, what did you guys do? I mean,
we didn't have Nights of Lights then, but we did spend a lot of time with family, visiting family, and having Christmas at home.
Okay, so Nights of Lights is like a tourist constructed thing for visitors. If you come down here, come down early in the day to find parking. If you come at 5 o'clock down US 1 trying to find a parking spot, you're gonna hate your life. There's a big old parking garage. It costs $40 to park there. Get here early, like before noon, have lunch, and then go see the Nights of Lights. We want to talk about 3 generations worth of favorite spots to hit on St. George Street. So my kids, they are 3 and 5. Their favorite spot is Hippo Popsicle, or Kilwins, of course, which is in every cute downtown across America. So anywhere there's ice cream, there's plenty of ice cream here. And then my favorite spots growing up were the cute surf shops. Donna's dress shop is where I got my prom dress. It's no longer there anymore. And Mom, what were your favorite shops when you were growing up?
So there was a kids' Hartley dress shop. There was the junior shop, which was where all the teenagers loved to buy their jeans and clothes there. My mom's favorite shop was right here. It was called Acris, and that was a ladies' really nice dress shop. Many shops downtown, it was actually where you came, parked, and did a lot of your shopping, including a hardware store and a furniture store.
So let's talk about some really great date night spots in downtown St. Augustine. If you're trying to take your significant other out, great live music in Prohibition Kitchen, and Colonial Oak always has a cool band playing. If you want amazing food, I would check out La Nouvelle. It's an amazing French restaurant. It's so yummy. It's inside of Thomas Jefferson's granddaughter's old house. It's very small, so make sure you make a reservation. Just north of town is Lotus Noodle Bar. You guys know I love that spot. A newer restaurant that just came to town like in the last 6 months is called Saint. It's an Italian restaurant right on the bayfront. It's super yummy. Osteen's, just go over the bridge. They only take cash. They don't take reservations. You've been eating there since you were younger.
Yeah, it's forever.
It's always got to wait. It's so delicious. Osteen's has the best shrimp in the world, in my opinion. Okay, so there's a couple pizza shops on St. George Street. The lesser known and my favorite is actually Pizzali's, and they have their own restaurant now in the back called the Chianti Room. But when I was growing up, it was a pizza by the slice place, probably one of the only places I could afford. You could run in there and grab a slice of pizza. Really yummy tiramisu, great pasta, great pizza. It has expanded, so if I were you, take the road less traveled by. If you Google pizza on St. George Street, you might see another spot. This is my personal favorite, Pizzali's and the Chianti Room. What about you? You agree?
I agree.
Yeah.